Good morning, friends. Welcome to Family Storytime. Today's Storytime is extra important. It's about the census.
What's the census?
The census, you ask? Good question. Well, the census is about being counted, and you count. From the minute that you're born, you are counted and should be counted. So if you want to find out if you've been counted, please ask your parents or guardians to find out if you've been counted. We will practice our counting today with our stories by doing some counting story times and about community helpers like myself and my friends that work at the library that we can help you be counted. For more information on the census, parents, please go to the website in the comments below, 2020census.gov. If you have not received your census in the mail, you can go to that website and fill out your census online. It literally takes seconds. It's not a very long process. So please be sure to step up and count yourself and your kids. Also, if you sign up to get a kit to go, this week we will be having census activity booklets with a free packet of crayons that you can find in that kit as well. And there's a lot of fun activities for you to do, as well as find out more about the census. All righty, friends, let's begin our counting story time. Should we do a hello? Oh, well, let's go ahead and start with Counting on Community. We'll just skip our hello song. So we're going to start with Counting on Community, written and illustrated by Innosanto Nagara. Living in community, it's a lot of fun. Let's count the ways. Let's start with 1. 1 stuffed piñata for every holiday. 2 neighbor friends, always there to play. 3 urban farmers, knee-deep in the mud. 4 fresh potatoes, 1 potato, 2 potato, 3 potato spud. 5 chunks of chalk on the sidewalk. 6 music makers who totally rock. 7 bikes and scooters and helmets to share. 8 picket signs showing that we care. 9 tasty dishes, yummy, yummy potluck. 10 hefty hens. Wait, is one of them a duck? So what can you count on in your community? Well, I can count on you, and you can count on me. All righty, friends. Next, I want to share with you one of my favorite community helper stories. And this one, I'd like to thank Disney Hyperion for allowing us to read this book today, called BookHog by Greg Pizzoli. It's about a library. The BookHog loved books, and he had quite a few. He loved the way they smelled and the way the pages felt in his hooves. He especially liked the ones with pictures. He picked them up here and there, anywhere he could find them. But the BookHog had a secret. A big secret. He didn't know how to read. He had never learned. He was surrounded by books, but the BookHog couldn't read a single one. The BookHog went to bed every night without a bedtime story. How sad. One morning, he went out looking for more books. He came to a long, low building, and he smelled some books inside. He snuck through the stacks, adding several books to his pile. But then a soft voice said, Would you like to join us for story time? It was Miss Olive, the librarian. Pick out a book and I'll read it with you. The BookHog blinked and then he swallowed. You'll read a book with me? Of course, said Miss Olive, as many as you'd like. This gave the BookHog an idea. Wait here, he said. He went home. And he came back with some books. Miss Olive led story time, and the BookHog listened closely. He heard many stories, some funny, some sad, some kind of in between. Over time, and with practice, the BookHog learned to read on his own. He grew to love books even more, not just for the way they looked and felt, but for the stories they told. And yes, the BookHog still takes lots of books. But he always brings them back. The end. One of my favorites. Alrighty, friends, let's practice our counting. This next story, I'd like to thank Chronicle Books. This is a beautiful story called Just a Minute by Yuyi Morales. When Grandma Beetle woke at dawn, she heard a knock at the door. And oh my, waiting outside, she found Senor Calavera. Senor Calavera tipped his hat. What a skinny gentleman. A pass of his hand, he signaled to Grandma Beetle. It was time for him to come along with, or for her to come along with him. Just a minute, Senor Calavera, Grandma Beetle said. I will go with you right away. I have just one house to sweep. Senor Calavera remembered he had extra time today, so he decided to wait. Oh no, one swept house, counted Senor Calavera, and he rose from his seat. Just a minute, Senor Calavera, Grandma Beetle said. I will go with you right away. I have just 2 pots of tea to boil. Senor Calavera sighed. Waiting a little longer wouldn't hurt anybody, after all. 2. 2 steaming pots of tea, counted Senor Calavera, and he headed for the door. Just a minute, Senor Calavera, Grandma Beetle said. I will go with you right away. I have just 3 pounds of corn to make into tortillas. Senor Calavera rolled his eyes. He had to be very patient sometimes. 3 stacks of tortillas, counted Senor Calavera, and he put on his hat. Just a minute, Senor Calavera, Grandma Beetle said. I will go with you right away. I have just 4 fruits to slice. Senor Calavera frowned. This was taking more time than he had expected. 4 fruits made into salad, counted Senor Calavera, and he motioned that they should go. Just a minute, Senor Calavera, Grandma Beetle said. I will go with you right away. I have just 5 cheeses to melt. Senor Calavera tapped his fingers. This was getting out of hand. 5 melted cheeses, counted Senor Calavera, and he hurried to help Grandma Beetle with her sweater. Just a minute, Senor Calavera, Grandma Beetle said. I will go with you right away. I have just 6 pots of food to cook. I don't have enough fingers, so I hope you're holding up your fingers. Senor Calavera threw up his hands. What else could he do? 6 pots of delicious food, counted Senor Calavera, and he offered Grandma Beetle his arm. Just a minute, Senor Calavera, Grandma Beetle said. I will go with you right away. I have just 7 piñatas to fill with candy. Senor Calavera shook his head in disbelief. It was getting late. Siete. 7 piñatas full of candy, counted Senor Calavera, and he held open the door for Grandma Beetle. Just a minute, Senor Calavera, Grandma Beetle said. I will go with you right away. I have just 8 platters of food to arrange on the table. Enough! Senor Calavera could take no more. Ocho. 8 platters of food set on the table, but Senor Calavera had lost count. He was too busy stomping on the floor. Oh, look, Senor Calavera, Grandma Beetle explained. Here come my grandchildren. Senor Calavera took a deep breath. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Nueve. 9 beautiful grandchildren came through the door. The children sat at the table and everyone at his place. Now, Grandma Beetle said, all my guests are here, and together they make 10. But the guests sitting at the table counted only 9. Grandma, the children protested, where's guest number 10? Here he is, she said. Yes. Number 10, of course, is Senor Calavera. It was time to celebrate Grandma Beetle's birthday. And when the birthday cake was all aflame, Grandma Beetle blew out the candles with a gust like a hurricane. When the party was over, Grandma Beetle kissed her grandchildren one by one. Then she announced, I am ready, Senor Calavera. But oh my, where was Senor Calavera? Grandma Beetle found only a note. Dear Grandma Beetle, your birthday party was a scream. I had fun like never before. I wouldn't miss your next birthday party for anything in the world. You can count on that. Sincerely yours, Senor Calavera. The end. All right, my friends, thank you so much for watching. Do not forget to sign up for your summer reading program. You can find that online at publiclibrary.org. Also, remember to call and request a kit to go to get your census activity booklet and crayons. And don't forget to be counted, because you count. All right, I bid you farewell. Let's do our goodbye song. It goes like this. Goodbye, friends. Goodbye, friends. Goodbye, friends. It's time to say goodbye. Bye, friends. Have a fabulous week.